Hi, this is Dr. Noel Lloyd with 5-Star Management, and this is video number 4 in a 4-part series on Win-Win Associate Development System. Now, if you missed video number 1, here's what we covered. We talked about how to prepare right for an associate. And preparing right means, number 1, getting your head right in order to put the system in your office. Number 2, to be able to get your business plan right so you understand what your success targets are. And then number 3, being able to get your house in order so that your team and your facilities will accept the associate with very, very low stress. Super important video. I want you to go back and watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Video number 2 was how to hire right. We talk all about the ad, we talk all about the interview and the offer, and we talk all about the contract. So important to get those 2 videos done first. So if you haven't seen number 2, please go back and watch that. In video number 3, we covered the training. And I'm talking about training your associate to get their own new patients, such a key piece. Also training them to be your clinical assistant in the practice. And then number 3, training them on how to do their own practice so they understand all the retention issues. And if you get all those things constructed well, you've got a great associate who's ready to launch. Now, I want to thank you for all the comments, all the emails, the phone calls, and some of the face-to-face comments that you've given me at seminar about how you've appreciated this series. I really appreciate the encouragement. So let's go on and talk about the launch. In this 4-part course on my Win-Win Associate Development System, we're talking about how everybody wins. The clinic director wins because he or she gets the help that they need the way that they want it. They get the freedom that they're looking for so they can spend the time with the family. And then number 3, they get the extra income that they deserve. The associates get success training. By the way, not all chiropractors are successful. Success training is extremely valuable. Number 2, they get a career opportunity. Many win-win associates get a chance to partner up with or work next to some great clinic directors. And so that's an opportunity and a huge win. And number 3, they learn how to help people, have fun, and make great money. And my associates in this system make great money. So how do we do this? We do this by preparing right, by hiring right, by training right, and by launching right. And today, it's all about the launch. Now, if you get this wrong, here's what happens. You've got a slow start. It's painful. There's no momentum. Number 2, it's costly. It takes a long time to get to break even, and your associate understands that their bonus is a long ways away. Well, that also, number 3, demotivates your associate. They're smart. They've plotted their trajectory, and if there's no steep climb out, it's disappointing. And number 4, even a really good potential associate could leave your program and go try something else. And then number 5, and this is what I think the big disappointment is that your associate program fizzles altogether and you go back to square one. Nobody wants that. If you get this launch piece right, here's what happens. It's fun and it's exciting. Number 2, it's profitable almost from the very start. Number 3, it's got success all over it. And you know what? People stay with successful programs. Number 4, you can grow that practice by adding the extra associate. And number 5, imagine this, 3 wonderful practices under one roof, all seeing lots of patients and having a ton of fun. Take that, overhead. Now, we want to learn how to do this by launching well, so let's get on to the launch piece. So now let's talk about our launch. We've done a bunch of things up to this particular point, and we want our associate to go right on to excellent, excellent success. So let me put together a launch vehicle for us here. We're going to put together our rocket ship. And let's put some fins on that. And let's put our rocket ship on a launch pad. And I'm just going to write launch pad. And that's the foundation that we build on in order to do a good launch. If you remember all the rocket launches that you've ever seen on TV, there's a launch pad, right? It's something that the force of the rocket engines pushes against. And this is our launch pad sequence. we have gone back and we've done our prep work. So I'm just going to put prepare here. This is all about the sequence, understanding the process that we're in. Number 2, we hired correctly, or we hired right. So we've got the right person for this process. We've done the interview. We've selected out the duds, okay? And then we've done training. Now that's the foundation for all of this. You can't get a good launch on an associate unless you do the prep work, the hiring right, and then the training. Now, let me give myself a few lines here to work with. So, this is what I call pre-launch. And I'm just going to put this down low. This is a pre-launch sequence. You know what? Let me give myself a couple more lines here. This is my intern. Where in the world did an intern come from? An intern can come into your office for 6 or 8 weeks. It's like an extended interview. You understand their work ethic. It's a really, really good relationship. They do marketing and they do new patient assisting. And by the way, if they like the work and they thrive, that they would qualify for this A0 position. And an A0 is an associate without a license. 0 license, that's how they got the 0. Now, they have 2 jobs, marketing and new patient assisting. Now, I get a chance to see how they have done with the training. So this is the pre-launch sequence. These people can't take care of patients, but they can assist in helping you with secondary income, and it's a close-on opportunity to see if they qualify. You probably wouldn't get an A0 position as an intern unless you really liked our system, unless we really liked you. Now, let's go to our associate right here. All these people have big eyes. This is an A1. Now, I'll talk to you about that designation between A1 and A2 in just a second. They've got 3 jobs. It's marketing first. It's always the first. You can't take care of patients you don't have. You got to go out and get them. If you want to get into bonus, you've got to get new patients. Remember how we talked about primary income. They're also going to be a new patient assistant. And then they're also going to take care of patients. Now, they're a new patient assistant to me. Here I am right up here. They're my new patient assistant. If you're the clinic director, these people assist you up to about 75 visits a week. But let's talk about what we're going to do with this person. This is what I call the turbo launch. This is my COA. My COA, let me write that down, COA, that's so you don't forget, is my marketing assistant. That's the person that does all my external marketing. That person is going to have a responsibility to and for this person if they have been diligent in their training and they're producing their own new patients. I want to take somebody who's a winner, somebody who shows that they really like what we do, and I want to give them the advantage of working with a marketing assistant. Now, this person will still produce new patients for me, but they will also put this person into the marketing. What it really does is turbocharges that person. It's an excellent procedure. Now, we've got another person here, and this is our A2, and this is plus 75 patient visits a week. Now, one of the things that will happen is this practice starts to grow. It'll get hard to be a new patient assistant for somebody else once you get to 75 visits a week. You've got 5-6 new patients on Monday with my 5-6 new patients on Monday and your patient visits, and you start to feel the pressure. And so we changed the job description. They still have to market, but they're no longer a new patient assistant. They focus on their practice. Now, there are a couple questions up here. There are empty boxes up here. What do we want to do? These are what we call our success targets. We're taking, let's say that this doctor does really, really well and has always wanted their own practice. Remember, I developed 10 separate practices, and I found the people to go into my separate practices in this process. They might go out here to another clinic. And that person may take that clinic eventually after giving me a nice check, and it's their office. This person might end up being my right arm associate because I know that they have the talent and the skill because they came through the launch pad. So here's a launch pad in quick review. Interns and unlicensed associates are pre-launch. The intern comes out, gets a chance to do a job demonstration. The A1, if they have been faithful to the process, gets hooked up with a COA, and we see how quickly we can get them up to profit, up to speed. And if they really take to it, they might end up as my right arm associate, or they might be put in a clinic which we'll eventually sell. So that's how to do a launch. So this is video 4 of 4, and I want to take you through a quick review of what we've done. So on the first video, we talked all about the prep. So let me write prep. If you prepare right, you've got a chance. In fact, you've got an excellent chance. And so we first talked about getting our head right. This is understanding that there is a formula, that there's a process, and there's a sequence. I call these prerequisite. If you get the prereqs right, you're in good shape. The second thing we did was do a business plan. Now, the business plan is so important because the major reason, the number one reason that associates fail is because the business aspect of the associate relationship with the clinic director failed. So you've got to have your business plan. Number 3, house. Got to have your house in order. One of the things that can happen here is you can damage the primary practice, or what we would call the mothership, and there's ways not to do that, and there's ways to bring the associate in, allow them to earn their respect, but also have them feel valued in the whole process. So extremely important. The second video we did was on hire right. So I'm going to write hire in here. And the first thing that we had to do is we had to get our ad up. Right languaged ad in front of the right number of eyeballs. Super, super important. You get the right number of applicants, which is many. The next thing is the interview. In the interview process, you can be confident and know exactly what you're looking for. Keep your ears open for the right thing. Keep your ears open for the wrong thing. So this is the way you pick the winners from the losers. And then the third thing here is your contract and your offer, or your offer and your contract. Now, I've said this before, but this is not a handshake era. You can't do business on a handshake. You have to have a good contract, and it has to be crafted well and carefully for your particular state. On video number 3, we talked about the training. And the training first for new patients. Your associate can, will, if approached correctly, if it's framed right, and if they're trained right, they'll go out and get their own new patients. Number 2, they will also be your clinic assistant. And they do that with new patients and established patients. You hired somebody because you want help. Also, you're going to give a base salary. I'm going to give a base salary, and I'm going to make sure that somebody's trained to do the clinical assistant. And you can, if you do this right, you can have exactly the work done exactly the way you want it done. It's super important. Okay, now, number 3 is we train them for retention. I want them to build a practice next to mine. I want them to build so that they produce primary income. Remember primary income from our business plan? And so this is the way that they build a practice. And then the third was launch. We have the launch pad. A good, strong pad gives you an opportunity. There are some people that are so strong as associates, if you hire right, all they'll do is push off from the launch pad. They'll need very, very little help from you in order to get to a particular volume if the launch pad is built correctly. The second thing that we talked about is what I call the pre-launch, and then the turbo. In the pre-launch sequence, we give people an opportunity to come in and audition to us for that position as an intern, as an A0. And then as far as the turbo is concerned, when the A1 really starts to pick up things, they get a chance to work with our COA. And then we have what we call success targets. If you're in a rocket ship, you want to get the rocket ship to the moon or Mars or wherever that rocket ship is going, we have success targets. Right arm associate person, that's one target. Being able to discern whether the person should get their own clinic and do that safely, that's another target. Now, this is what I help my clients with. This is what we will cover in the Win-Win Associate Development Seminar. Now, I insist that all of my clients come to the seminar because we do such a bang-up job on all of these particular topics. But if I end up working with you as a 5-star management client, if you come to the seminar and you see that you like the work, this is the thing that we're going to do. Getting the foundation taken care of in your preparation, making sure you hire the right associate, teaching you how I put my training centers together, which have served me well for decades, and then being able to launch associates into successful success targets. Now, I want you to register for the seminar. If you've liked the video series that have taken you through, if you think that this seminar can be of value to you, there's a button right below, and I want you to click it, and I want you to register, and I want you to come. And the reason I do is because when we cover this stuff, we have a ton of fun, and you'll get a ton of success out of it. So it's been really fun for me to do this series with you. If you push the button down below, what will happen is that you get instant access to register for the seminar. Like to see you there. So have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.